How do you think AI will change tattooing in the future?
People are evolving, man. The craft is changing. You got guys that are 2 years in the game,
How do you balance passion and profitability?
giving everybody the quality, the experience that they deserve. Anytime somebody asks me, hey, what's the craziest tattoo you've ever done? It's definitely that one.
What's the biggest mistake that you've had to learn from?
Business is business.
Welcome back to another episode of the most versatile podcast in the world. I have Tattoo BamBam. He is a local here from Miami, Florida. We drove all the way from Charlotte just to hear his story of how he became, I guess, what would it be, known in the tattoo industry? Because you have a lot of followers too.
I sure do. I sure do. Thank you guys. My name is Tattoo Bam Bam. I've been tattooing now for 15 years, and I started here in Miami, Florida. And I've been tattooing now for the last 3 years independently. Had my tattoo studio called the Prodigy Tattoo Gallery here in Miami.
I love that. The Prodigy. Are you a
The
prodigy?
Yes.
What would you say your style is called?
I'm pretty versatile when it comes to my style. I like doing pretty much anything you bring to me. When I first started, I didn't want to stick to just lettering. That was like my main thing. I was doing lettering. And my mentor, when she saw me, growing on my lettering, she's like, you need to start establishing yourself more in different areas. Start doing cartoons, start doing illustrations, anime. So I took that into consideration and I ran with it.
What's the secret to developing a recurring client base?
To stay in contact with them, man. To build a bond. My main thing is giving everybody the quality, the experience that they deserve, and that's with hearing them out. Hearing every tattoo has a story behind it. So I think it's very important to follow up. Also, making sure how it heals, and that just shows that you care. A lot of clients go to shops, they don't even remember their tattoo artist's name. So to me, one of the biggest things is making sure they remember who I am, their experience, their tattoo experience, and everything.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, you're pretty like an impressionable dude because you're always just you keep your face on the internet. You're big on social media. You're always posting. Does that equate to your clients?
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. Content is very important for all tattooers right now. We're living in an era right now where social media is pretty much a big thing that we use as a tool to bring clients. So between video content creating, doing reels, things like that are very important that people observe and decide, hey, look, this guy does pretty nice work, and look at the content, then they come and get tattooed.
Yeah, because I've seen some of your work, and there's one of the Toronto Raptors.
Oh yeah.
That one's sick. It's
Thank you,
pinned.
thank you, thank
How
you.
was the process of that?
Well, with this gentleman, he actually flew down, and he's been following me for a few years, and he decided that he wanted to get the championship trophy that they won that time, and it was a good, cool experience, man. The guy sat through it. We did about, I think, 10 hours on the tattoo. There was a lot of details within the whole piece. Just the raptor itself had a lot of details on the skin, so it was a really fun experience.
No, yeah, that's one of my favorite ones on your page. I mean, every time I scroll over, when I see you post, it's like, man, when next time I'm in Miami, I need to get one.
Yeah, man. Whenever you're ready, you can run it.
Yeah, it's a 10-hour drive.
It's gonna be worth it, though.
Yeah, no, it's super colorful and vibrant. How do you go about charging? Do you undercharge? How did you learn your worth?
That's a good question. When I first started, everybody had their minimum $100 for a tattoo per hour. With time, you start developing skills. You start developing also what tools you want to use, the cartridges that you use, the PPE, all this stuff, all these materials start building up and costing money when you're starting. Some shops provide it, some shops don't. So once I started realizing, there's certain shops that don't provide the materials and I have to invest in my own craft, that's when I said, listen, this is where I need to take the next step and raise my prices as well.
Dang. Yeah, so knowing your worth is big.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you ever underprice your work?
I hook some people up, and at the end of the day, it's not really all about the money. It's about, like I said, the experience that the person is there getting their tattoo, and I try to give them the utmost experience that they could possibly get for what they're paying.
Right. So how do you handle the difficult clients, the ones who haggle, they micromanage, and they're
It's
just
funny that you say that because I had a guy the other day. I did 8 hours on him, and when I told him originally what the price was, and once we were done, I told him, all right. He goes to me, how much do I owe you? I'm like, bro, you know how much you owe me. So when I told him the price, he's like, can we do something better on the price? And I just sat there and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take care of you on this one. But yeah, yes, I already know for the next time, this is the type of situation I'm gonna get involved with if I tattoo him again. So when it comes down to overpricing or underpricing, I try to be as fair as possible when it comes to it. The point is for me to create art and for my artwork to be out there, you know. And I know if I charge or hook somebody up, that piece could eventually bring me 10 more clients, you know.
right.
So
How do you so when you hook the people up, how do you make it fair? So what distinguishes the fair hookup?
the piece that I do, you know, if it's like let's say an anime piece that I love doing, I'm gonna take care of you. You know, I normally charge a set rate for a full day. I'll probably give it like another 50% off. You know, I'm pretty fair, man.
No, I feel that. With social media being a big commodity among a new generation tattooers, how do you separate yourself from the other big name artists, I guess, through Instagram?
Being myself, man. I'm not in competition with anybody in the industry. When it comes to my work, people see what I put out. They absorb what I put out. You know, they see my stories with my kids and my condition. I was born with cerebral palsy, so a lot of people are aware of that, and they're intrigued by that. You know, they want to hear more about it. So
I
a
want
lot
to
of
hear more about it. That's crazy. I'm not
yeah.
trying to laugh.
No,
but-
no, no. You're good. I was born with CP. Cerebral palsy is a medical condition where pretty much it affects a lot of your nerves, your limbs, your body. You know, some people can't walk, some people can't talk. They're bedbound. I underwent a lot of physical therapy as a kid to be able to hold objects, to be able to walk. But I've always been a very art-driven person as a child. I really got that from my mom. When we did projects in school, she was very involved in that, you know. So as a kid growing up, that kind of rubbed off, you know.
Where did you grow up?
I was born in Colombia, and I came to the United States when I was 3.
Like
and
the
that was
country?
it. Colombia, yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Shout out to all my Colombians out there. Let's go.
So you came out here just as a kid?
As a child, yeah. We came out here just so I could get the surgery for my back. I had lower back surgery, sciatic surgery. And yeah, man, with the surgery, everything, I was able to walk again. Did a lot of physical therapy to be able to manage myself as an adult now.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm sure that makes it a little bit difficult to continue
Oh, yeah.
working on the craft that you're trying to master, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
That's wild.
I have to pretty much constantly, you know, just put on my big boy shoes on and keep going, you know, with back pain and all, you know.
Yeah, because even as a tattooer, you're always hunched over.
Oh yeah.
So how does that affect your back?
A lot. It definitely does. I think for a lot of tattooers, most of us have issues with back pains or, you know, arthritis on our hands. Stretching, man, stretching is very important. You know, every morning I try to do a couple stretches to start my day out. I constantly have to have a back brace on to keep my core nice and straight, you know, because a lot
Right.
of times, you know, like the hunched over, the brace will keep you nice.
Yeah,
nice
keep your
and
core
tight, you know?
flexed.
So the moment you take that brace off, though,
Yeah, because you hunch over.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
it's just like wearing a belt when you're
Yep.
lifting heavy weight. It keeps your core tight unless you have a strong core.
yeah.
But you know, because I'll be in the gym, so like I always keep my core tight,
Yeah.
no matter where I'm at, bro. How do you balance passion and profitability? Is it ever difficult to choose between the two?
Not really, man. When it comes down to my passion as tattooing and what I spend a lot of money on my career, man. Between going to conventions, the materials, you know, aftercare, which is very important. I spend so much on aftercare just to make sure that every client out there heals good. You know, you could spend hours on a tattoo and a tattoo could heal really bad because you didn't have the proper aftercare to take care of it. So aftercare is super important between the bandage, the lotions and stuff that you need to have to have a good result on the tattoo.
who are your inspirations coming through the tattoo industry?
Well, my inspiration first started when I even got involved with tattooing with Tattoo Baby. Shout out to Tattoo Baby. Tattoo Baby was my mentor when I first started back 15 years ago. I showed her some tattoos that I've done on myself, and she introduced me to the owner at the shop that she was working at, and I pretty much, she got my foot in there and pretty much showed me how to set up, how to stay, clean, not to cross contaminate, and I had a lot of friends that are really good inspirations. I have Javi, Tattoo Theory, Bolo, which is an awesome artist as well that I used to work with as well. So a lot of these guys that I worked with, I try to stick to people where I want to grow from. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain shops that just do, traditional, certain shops that do watercolor, fine line. I like to be in a very versatile atmosphere where I could, learn a little bit from this guy, and everybody has different styles versus just traditional.
Right.
Nothing against my people that do traditional. I love you guys very much, and I love doing traditional tattoos. But I like to stay versatile, like different things.
You got to stay sharp. So, is this what would you call the style that you do? What did you say it was?
It's not really a style. It's just versatility, man. Just keeping every design different. I could mix a traditional piece with watercolor, or of course, a lot of people that do traditional think that's very disrespectful. But I like to bring artisticness to it. I could take an old Sailor Jerry tattoo and make it look more neo-traditional. You know, things like that. So I don't really have a set particular style. It's more of a versatile style.
Oh, that makes sense. Hey, that's crazy. So when you had your apprenticeship, was it a traditional apprenticeship or was it just grab the machine and go?
It was the most important thing was learning not to cross contaminate. That was the first thing as an apprentice. You could bring somebody in and go clean my tubes. I don't know how to clean your tubes. You haven't taught me. So there's shops that, unfortunately, that's how they apprentice you. You have to have hands down, sit down. Look, this is how we set up. This is how, we take our gloves off. Certain, the first basic important steps were pretty much the most important thing at the beginning for me. Not cross contaminating.
Do you ever tell a client that you don't want to do a specific tattoo, or are you open to tattooing all sorts of things?
No, there's certain things that I am very against. I, at one point in my career, worked with a organization, tattoo shop that was on the beach. They helped victims of human trafficking. So I did that for 2 years, where we would sit down with this group of people that they pretty much helped captured women that were tattooed with brands. For instance, let's say an oppressor, a pimp, you would call it. He would tattoo, let's say, Fulanito's
Property,
BIT
yeah, basically property, yeah.
So, these girls, they've gone over a lot of therapy. They went through a lot of therapy. They were involved with the church, and then that's when they said, all right, we're going to go ahead and help you get this covered up or removed, whatever they wanted. So one thing I really don't do is like property of, things like that. I don't do.
Oh yeah, you did post on your page the other day. You don't do names. You
I
don't.
had a client call me one time, and he flat out said, "Hey, how much is it going to cost me so my girlfriend could get Yusmani's bitch?" I was like, "Bro, nah."
What happened in that situation? What did he
I
say?
said, "Look, sir, respectfully, I'm not gonna do that type of tattoo, and that's not the type of work that I do. I try to keep it real professional, but at the same time, educate them and let them know that what they're asking for is not something
Right.
that somebody's daughter should be getting. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like, I have kids, and imagine my daughter coming home Thanksgiving and
And
you
it
know?
says, whoever's bitch.
Yeah,
Dude.
right. That's wild.
So you have kids?
Yeah.
That's cool. How many kids do you have?
I have 2 boys.
Two
Christian
boys?
and Gabriel. And
That's cool, bro. That's beautiful.
thank you.
How old are they?
One is 5. He just turned, and the other one just turned 10. I bring them with me to the convention sometimes, and it's a good experience. Those are my prodigies. So the whole purpose of the shop is, they love doing art. So
Right.
pretty much what I do is for them. That
Right.
everything that I do is for them.
Do you hope that
Convention.
they would follow into the same footsteps as you?
It would be nice. I think every father that's a tattooer out there, would love to have their kid, chase the same dream that you have, But at the end of the day, I don't push it on them, Like I let them do what they want to do, let them be kids, most importantly. But when it comes to art, yeah, they're very art driven. We sit down at the table and we'll pull out a big roller of paper and just sit there and just start drawing comic books, doing comic books. That's how I started with my artisticness. As a
Comic books
kid,
are
I
cool.
would draw I would grab a paper, fold it, make lines, and make little comics, and I would sell comic books for like $1, $2, like cartoons. Our Real Monsters was my thing,
No, that's cool.
with the guy with the little eyes in his hand.
Yeah, I think I've seen it. I'm not too sure. I mean, I'm probably a little younger than you, but I don't know. Maybe I've seen it. He
Yeah,
said eyes in his hands.
yeah. He has the eyes and the armpit hairs. He looks like a testicle.
That's crazy. So, with the history of tattooing, do you ever study that?
Oh yeah, I definitely study the craft a lot. I also try to look at a lot of seminars, even attending seminars as well. I like to be I'm a very visual person, so I learn a lot from what I see. Um, when I first started tattooing, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even know how to set up a machine until, I actually got the opportunity to sit down, hands-on. Look, this is how you break down. This is how you set up. So
Yeah, because tattooing used to be an underground craft.
yeah,
So, do
absolutely.
you think that social media has changed it to lose its edge?
It's changed it.
Because I don't know how, I don't, because you've only been tattooing for 15 years. So,
15 years,
and I've
yeah.
interviewed some tattoo artists that have been tattooing for 30.
Yeah, yeah.
So, just everything's different. How you learn, everything's changing, everything's evolving.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. A lot of traditional, back in the days, they try to keep it very low, like between them. Um, we're in an era now where people are evolving, man. The craft is changing. You got guys that are 2 years in the game and are tattooing like portraits that you would never imagine,
Yeah, it's crazy.
Incredible artwork. I seen a guy at a convention. I'm like, man, how long you been tattooing? He was like, 2 years. I was like, are you kidding me, bro? There's no way 2 years. And
They've been going to art school and stuff.
yeah, man, incredible, incredible work that you see in 2 years,
What about conventions? How many conventions would you say you do a year?
Um, man, this year I got so far 3 lined up. I try to do anywhere between 4 or 5. It's a little difficult with my schedule because I have the kids and having to be there for them for school too. I'm very involved in my children's life, so my priority really is to make sure that they know their dad is present in their life.
Right. Which one's your favorite convention out of all of them that you've been to?
Ooh, I want to say Ink Mania. Shout out to Ink Mania. Let's go.
Where they go?
Right now, there's going to be one coming up in April. It's going to be in Tampa. And this is going to be the first annual Tampa show they're going to have there. And I'm excited to be out there, man.
What
It's,
makes Inkmania better than the rest of them for you?
well, every show is very different. The fact that I know Chino personally, and he's been a great guy ever since I first went to his very first show. Showed a lot of love and support. I feel like when a person that's hosting an event has a really good bond and good energy, it's all about the energy. A lot of shows that are just out there to just come up off of you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, hey, yeah, booth, do boom, bam, boom, and you figure it out. He's constantly posting, promoting. So I look at that a lot when I do a show. Like, what convention am I gonna invest into, and are they putting out content as well to bring more people into the show?
Right.
I've been to shows that have been flops, man. You walk in there and it's like maximum 30 people, and there's over 600 tattooers, and you just sitting there like, bro, you want to get a tattoo? Come sit down.
Like forcing them
just
almost.
who wants a tattoo over here?
Dang, that's crazy. Because my next question was going to be if tattoo conventions are worth it.
Oh, absolutely. They're definitely, and in my opinion, I feel like tattoo conventions help you grow in many aspects. As far as your clientele, I have people in Chicago that I tattoo. The seminars that the conventions have. You have amazing tattoo artists that come from everywhere. that take the time out of their day where they could be making money tattooing, where they're actually sitting down and they're still making money, but they're teaching you. You know, they're teaching you their setup. They're showing you, you know, what theory of color they use, you know, to complement certain things, which is very important when you're doing color or black and gray.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you were at these conventions, what's the most crazy, unforgettable moment you've ever had?
Man, the last show that I went to, trying to remember which one this was. This was in West Palm Beach, if I'm not mistaken. There was a gentleman, no tattoos on his body, bro. And this guy was with his wife. They had one of those, you know, those Oriental things to block. You know, the
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
They had one of those Oriental things to block. And the man was getting his testicles tattooed blue. Blue, bro.
Blue balls.
Royal blue. Blue balls. And I was just like, I walked by and I didn't believe because so many people were talking about it. So I passed by and I'm like, man, this guy is going at it with a big 35 mag and just ramming it. That's crazy.
Yo, that's crazy that you say that because the last artist that I interviewed yesterday, she was telling me that this dude came in and was like, I want my dick tatted. And she was like, nope. So I guess another guy did it. But bro, I would never. That would hurt too bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to feel comfortable in a situation like that, you know. And needless to say, like the skin, you know, down there is a lot different, you know. It's not, you know, you gotta kind of stretch it and like hold it with one pinky and just.
Did he get it finished?
I don't know. I didn't stay that long. I just saw a glimpse, boop, and walk right.
So he
back
was
to
just
me.
like this.
Yeah, he was there in La Silla, see, just going in.
Yo, was he screaming?
Nah, he was calm and collective. He was there holding his girl's hand. They were just chilling. Yeah, it was wild.
Yo, I mean, I'm sure you see crazy stuff, but that's your most craziest thing.
There's that. There was also fights that I've seen gone down, and it was a pretty bad fight, to be honest with you. We were just getting there. It was early in the morning. I want to say 9 o'clock. I was setting up my station, and mind you, prepping our station involves a lot. Next thing you know, I hear like commotion in the curtain behind me, and next thing you know, I see a suitcase go flying under and like knocks my table, and I'm like, what? I stood up. I'm like, what the fuck? And all I hear is boom, bah, 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 people punching each other, and I opened the curtain, and apparently the two artists that were behind me were fighting over the garbage, the biohazard garbage. He goes, "You took my fucking garbage." And he's like, "What are you gonna do about it, bitch?" Popped them, bro, and they just started. And man, the guy was with his client. He was tattooing a girl, and the other guy just beat his ass, like just started going in on him, and fractured his leg. The guy got kicked out of the show, and he continued tattooing. And he put his thing was swollen, and like he had a broken ankle. He had a broken ankle for sure. And he just wrapped it, put his foot up like this, and he just kept tattooing the girl. And I had to, you know, like when they escorted the dude out, I felt bad because, you know, he had his whole setup literally just laid out on the floor. So, you know, I helped him clean it up, and me and some other artists as well, we helped him set up his station again, and he just kept tattooing with a broken leg.
That's crazy. That's
probably,
insane. No, that's cool
yeah,
though. I mean, he still had to finish his job.
Yeah. I think that one's probably the number one craziest story, other than the blue balls. The blue balls just happened not too long ago, I think.
What's your networking strategy when you go to a convention? Do you go to meet certain artists, or do you just see where it takes you?
I mean, I definitely go to the conventions to see all my boys. I have friends that I've been, you know, seeing at shows for the last 15 years, and it's always good to see them. You know, it's people from everywhere. You know, from LA, from New York. I have people from Russia, bro, that are really cool that are in New York. So it's always good to see them out there. What was the other part of the question you said?
Your networking strategy. Do you go there to meet certain artists, or do you just like see where it takes you?
No, networking definitely go out there is the whole key to be at a convention is to network. You know, network with other artists, network with shops, with people that are there, that are looking at your artwork, When I go out there, I try to have a whole setup, of what I have available, designs that are for the show, special designs for the show. I bring a model with me, and he's the one that pretty much does everything for me while I'm tattooing. He talks to people. Look, this is, the piece that I did. This is healed for this long. So he's got 2 sleeves, and we go everywhere, man. Every show, he's always by my side. Shout out to my boy Ray Ray. Too fat, too
Is that the
fat.
guy that I met at the All
Yeah,
American?
Ray.
Yeah, that was when we met. That was 2023.
Yeah.
Was it?
Ray's a big blessing, man. I met him a few years ago. He won a Halloween tattoo contest. I was pretty much doing, picking out of different tickets, and he won, and we established a really good bond, man. He's been a solid dude. He's gone to every show with me. He's won over 13 different awards at different shows. So it's been a blessing having him there with me, tattooing him there. It made him suffer a lot.
I feel that.
Suffer, man. And last minute, like, yo, go up there, go into your arm, and winning tattoo of the day is pretty much a big thing, Getting those type of acknowledgments from your peers.
Do you think the judging is biased, or do you think it's fairly judged?
That's a good question, bro. I've seen certain shows where it's like, you see certain things win already so many years consecutively, the same piece, the same tattoo, same person. It's one of those things where, you can't say anything because you sound like a hater. It's a good piece, but
Every time?
every time is crazy. So same thing like when I put my pieces up, a lot of people have already seen my work, so they know, oh, this is a tattoo BamBam. So I try to change certain things and do different styles for certain shows, so it doesn't look like, oh, I know who did this. You know what I'm saying? So,
Which is your favorite cities that you've gone to for a convention?
okay. Cities, I would have to say, I've been to, man, I've had a lot of fun in North Carolina. I've been in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I've had some pretty fun experience and crazy, scary experiences out there as well.
Scary.
Yeah. That we can't talk about. That's we'll talk off camera on that. But no, yeah, definitely had some good experiences. North Carolina, Tampa has been really good. West Palm Beach. Pretty much, I've done every show on the East Coast, man, and I would say there was probably just one convention where I felt like I got robbed from, and it was in North Carolina, no, in South Carolina, in some farm. It was very awkward. I don't even know how I ended up there.
How do you prepare for a convention, and what are some rookie mistakes you would avoid?
I prepare probably a week before the show. I have my suitcase. I pretty much have everything laid out. Most importantly is the PPE, making sure you have all your PPE equipment, your gloves. If you're gonna really get down and dirty, you want to have your apron and stuff like that, and everything to not cross contaminate. Making sure that your inks are all up to date. That's very important. There's the health department is very heavy on that when they come out. Make sure that your needles are on point. As far as not expired. And making sure that networking. I like to make sure that when I go to a certain city, I go on Google Maps, see what's in that area, and figure out if there's a gym there, or I'm gonna hit up this gym and send out 15 messages to random people, boom, 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 and let them know that I'm coming to your city.
So when you're at your tattoo convention and you're in your booth and you have all your photos laid out,
Yeah.
how do you prevent people from taking a photo and going to someone else for a cheaper price?
That's why I have my boy Ray 2525. I make sure that he's there on top of that. I do have signs that do normally say, please no photos of the artwork. They could take a picture of my tattoos that I've done. I'm okay with that. But if you're taking my drawings and they're taking pictures of it and going down to the next guy, nah.
Have you ever had
Give me your phone. Yeah, give me your phone. Let me go to your deleted section. Delete. Yeah, no,
Have you ever had to do something like that?
yeah.
Did they get threatened or like what?
No, they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. They're not confrontational when it comes to that because they know they're like, yo, the sign is there, you know.
Have you ever had someone steal your work?
Yeah.
What do you do in that situation?
No, can't do nothing about it, man. Honestly, just laugh at it. You know, I did a really nice flower on a girl that she wanted a customized piece, and within 3 days, I had somebody send me a screenshot of somebody in the same city in Miami that did the same exact tattoo, bro. But the quality is a lot different. You know, the saturation. You look at my work, I try to focus really taking my time to saturate color so it doesn't look choppy. And if it's rushed or choppy, it doesn't give you the same results as what you see on my portfolio.
Right. So what about the dark sides of tattooing in the industry? What are some of the dark sides of it?
Some dark sides to the industry. I haven't experienced them.
No?
No.
Because I've heard some people just talk like, oh, we could talk about the dark side. I mean, I don't know. I'm not in
What
the
are the
industry.
dark sides? I mean, man, I'm a man of God, so I try to stay away from anything wicked. You know what I'm saying? Any wicked or evil, dark stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So I haven't experienced anything about it
No,
like that.
that's good. I was just wondering because
But
some people say that there's a lot of nefarious things that go on I mean, in any industry, really.
yeah, no, I haven't had.
No.
No.
How do you think AI will change tattooing in the future?
AI is changing tattooing right now
How?
in many ways, man. People are coming out with these crazy designs, which is cool. I love AI. I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of clients come to me and bring me, these Pinterest images and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I want this horse." I'm like, "All right, I've seen 10 people already with the same horse. So what I'll do is I'll grab that image, convert it into something in AI, and I'll get 4 different versions of that same kind of horse, but in different styles."
Right.
So I'll tell them, "Look, I love your idea, but maybe if I do what I like to show you here, boom," and then normally 100% of the times they always go for it.
Have you ever had a client regret a tattoo that you've given them?
Yeah, yeah. This one sucks, man. I did a really nice piece for a couple. They got married in the beach, and they both came. They said, "Listen, we've been married." They showed me pictures of references of the area, so they wanted to get a jar with where they pour the sand in, and inside the jar they wanted to have a heart shape in the sand with the date of their wedding when they got married, with some palm trees, the sunset. Real beautiful piece. I can send it to you. And I want to say about a year later, he comes back into the studio and he was like, "Listen, man, I need to figure out a way to get this covered up." I found out shortly after that she was cheating on me with one of her coworkers, and I'm like, "Damn, fam." And it was a piece, like it was that big on the shoulder blade. It was a big piece. I was like, "Brother, look, these are your options. If we do that, we're gonna have to take up pretty much the whole rocker of your back, or even the whole back piece, man, because that's a big shoulder cover up."
And then what happened? Did he fix it or
He's
did he have to
still
get it
living.
removed?
He's still living with it. He's still living with it.
Yo, that's why I'm scared to get married, bro. You're trifling out here.
Get a prenup.
I mean, might as well, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I did mean to ask, going back to conventions,
Yeah.
do you ever have an issue with competition there?
No, not really. Other than when you're entering pieces, it's all friendly competition for me. I don't. Every time I go into a convention to compete for, let's say large color or whatnot, I always tell my clients, if you don't win, don't feel discouraged. Your piece is amazing. You don't have these 3 guys up here to justify whether your piece is nicer than the other.
Right.
So I'm not really there to compete like that. I just, hey, go up there, give it a shot. You know, I'm not
Not
going
like
there
that.
like, today I'm gonna win this and I'm gonna win that. No, I'm not for that.
No.
Not really. If you ever have an opportunity to speak to Ray again, 100% of the times that we've won awards have been on some random, yo, sit down, let's go. What do you want to get done? Because, and those times that we've done that, man, he's won. Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that's cool. Traveling.
I went to Puerto Rico. I didn't know, it was my first time going to PR. I didn't have any clientele out there, so I was like, yo, give me one leg, let's go. And we got a nice award out there, too.
Do you ever? Because I'm assuming that you come back under sometimes. How do you handle the loss?
The loss of what?
Losing money at a convention instead of making money.
Oh, no, there's been a few shows that have been kind of weird, and recently too has been a little different now with all this economy stuff happening. You gotta look at it a different way. I look at it, at least I had the opportunity to meet so and so, or at least I had the opportunity to, to network. So I don't take it as a loss like that. I try to look at it a
That's
different
good.
point of view.
I mean, yeah, because it is an
'Cause then
opportunity.
you torment yourself like, oh man, I'm never doing this show again. Some you win some, you lose some, man.
Right.
You know,
What's a health and safety concern that is commonly overlooked in the industry?
what's commonly overlooked?
Yeah, for health and safety.
I would say not teaching, not teaching the importance of cross contamination, bro. Like if you're not sitting there observing, like there's been certain cases where I've been at shops and I've seen people pass their hands through their hair, with gloves on, and it's things like that if you don't acknowledge it right there and tell them like, yo, that
Yeah, because then what would happen? Like it would be from them, right? And if they're sick, then the client would get sick, right?
well, no, if the client has some sort of a disease,
Oh,
and
yeah,
they're
then it goes to
passing
her.
it goes to her. She goes kisses her boyfriend on the cheek. It goes to him. He washes his face and passes it through his eyes.
Yeah.
Wakala.
You ever poked yourself?
No,
You never accidentally poked yourself while tattooing someone? I've heard stories about how people accidentally.
I
Well,
try to be very, very cautious, bro. That's scary.
yeah.
And I haven't poked myself.
Have you ever worked in a
I
toxic
poked myself I've tattooed myself, but I haven't poked myself with somebody's.
by accident? No. Have you ever worked in a toxic tattoo shop environment?
Oh yeah,
How did you navigate through it?
got out of there.
Was that what you were doing before you had your own studio?
I worked at a few different shops. When I first started, like I said, I started working with Tattoo Baby and where she was working at. Then she went off to Ink Masters, and pretty much from that point on, I said, look, I'm on my own, I got to hold my own from that point on. But I just try to stay away from drama, man. There's a lot of drama between who got here first and who's taking the client, like little kid shit. So I try to deal with people that are past that point. You know what I'm saying?
So it was more so of people kind of being a shark and taking your clients and stuff like that.
There's been situations where I've left a shop that I've been very loyal to for many years, and unfortunately, you're leaving on good terms. They still say, "Hey, but I got this guy available," versus, "Hey, look, Bam." I would say the right thing would be like, "Yo, Bam, I got this person that wants to get a tattoo. Came looking for you. You want to come and do it at my shop? I'll come and do it. I didn't leave in bad terms." Versus giving my client to somebody else. But
Yeah, that does happen a lot in the industry. So when your clients go to other people, how do you, I guess, deal with that?
no, look, I've come to terms where people aren't always going to be loyal to you, bro. And I don't expect them to be loyal to me. They come to me for what they like and what they want, and that's what I'm here to do, is to deliver that. If they want somebody to do a portrait of their daughter and they know I don't do that, I'm not going to feel butthurt. I'm going to tell you, hey, look, I don't do it. I had somebody tell me, I want to get a portrait of my daughter. I'll be like, look, I have a friend of mine. He specializes in this type of work. If you want black and gray or color, if you like, you run with it, But I don't get butthurt over that, bro.
How do you handle mental health in the tattoo industry?
That's hard. It's hard. I feel like, in my case, my situation when I got divorced, it really took a big, big toll on me. It set me back big time mentally. Um, Having to fight for the custody of my kids and losing what I worked so hard to build, you know. Mental health is one of the things that I had to kind of, how do I say this, bro? Come to terms and understand that nothing nothing really is gonna last, bro. And only thing that is gonna last is what you leave behind. And my main thing is just leaving behind great work, bro, and things, a good story behind every piece that I do, you know. So
Being that mental health does play a huge part in tattooing. Have you ever had a moment where you just want to quit?
no, I don't quit, bro.
No?
I'm not a quitter. No. There's no quitting in me, dude. I just keep going. Like I said, like when I got divorced and I pretty much lost it all, dude. Other than my house and and the stuff behind my back, bro. Like my I'm sorry, running back. I had a blank.
The mental health and quitting. Like if you've ever had a point in your life where you're discouraged and just want to give it all up.
No.
No?
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I had a moment where I just blacked out. Sorry, that was the chair.
Tunnel vision.
Yeah, tunnel vision.
Yo, you're funny, bro. So no discouraging moments. You don't really look at social media since it's big and kind of like get discouraged. Because I used to get discouraged when I first started filming.
Mm-hmm.
You know, discouragement is big when you're doing social media. So no? What about burnout? How do you handle burnout? Like, how do you stay motivated and creative?
Drawing every day, bro.
Do you draw on paper or do you draw on Procreate?
Canvas, on with chalk. Like every day
Chalk?
with the kid. Yeah, man. Outside in the backyard, we got chalk. We do artwork in the backyard. You know, with everything. Like I said, I'm very, very creative. My kids have I have piles of drawings that I sit down with the kids.
And nobody
But,
draws
like,
anymore.
Yeah. Stamps. People are using stamps now.
So do you make your own stencils or do you just use Procreate?
No, I make my stencils on Procreate.
Okay, so you don't
So,
actually
yeah.
draw on like stencil transfer paper and then lay it on them? Like with a pencil? No. Nah? Why not?
I need to keep my hands, bro. I'm doing double the work there.
No, I mean I get it because that's one of the reasons that social media has evolved
Yeah.
with the drawing from Procreate. It makes it a lot easier, right?
Yeah. No, it's a lot easier, and the fact that now you could scale it the size. Imagine you do the thing and you put it on. They're like, damn, I want it a little smaller actually, and then you got to sit there and do it all over again, you know. Versus just doing it on the iPad, you just print it out and scale it the size you need it.
I mean,
Back pieces too. When you do back pieces, now you could just print out, in different layers and just print it and put it together.
yeah. You do big back pieces?
I've done so far three full back pieces.
Full?
Yeah,
What were they?
yeah. One of them was on my boy Tommy. Rest in peace, Tommy. It was a full biomechanical spine going down with wings coming out. And in the middle there was like a dope crystal ball, like the ones that you touch and it gives electricity, like that. And the other back piece that I did, it was a Disney Tiana. Tiana is the girl, with the one with the frog. I did that one, and then I did a galaxy with the wolf. You can see it right here. This galaxy with the wolf. That was a full back piece that I did.
How do you get your colors to be so saturated? Is it a specific ink or do you just
I
ram it in?
I use Eternal Ink. I've been using Eternal Ink for the past 15 years. I love the brand. I love the people that stand by it. And the most important thing is just taking your time with it, not rushing it. I have a particular way that I saturate my colors, like if I'm painting a wall. You don't want to go in circles and do. Some people do circles, but for certain effects that you want your ink to do. But when I saturate, when I'm packing colors, like I'm painting a wall, dude, I'm going up, down like a printer, and just taking your time with it, not rushing it.
And then you go over it over again. Because all of the stuff on your page is extremely saturated.
Thank you. It's just one pass, bro.
One pass. What about the machine that you use? Is it a coil or a rotary?
I use a FK Irons rotary.
You don't like coil machines?
I love coiled machines. I started off with coils. My first machine was obviously a Mickey Sharps that I have tattooed here on my hand as well. Um, I used Mickey Sharps, Aaron Canes, hatchback irons. And then FK Irons started using, they started evolving with the rotaries and the crossovers. So I've tried a lot of different machines. I just like the pen now because it does mess your hands up after a while, man.
The coil does?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I see a lot of people that are loyal to the coil. They
No,
talk
absolutely.
about the pens hopefully subsiding. Do you think the pens are here to stay, or
Absolutely.
yeah?
They're staying. They're staying. Yeah, man. Wireless tattoo machines. Don't get me wrong. I would love coils if I had an opportunity that somebody sat down and said, "Hey, I want to get a back piece, some script or some bold lines." I would pull out a coil right away.
So what? Because I'm clueless to tattooing. So with the coil being battery powered, are there any events in which the battery dies and you can't finish the tattoo? Like what happens if you forget to charge it?
No, you have to have a backup, my brother.
Well, so that does happen then.
Well, I mean, there's battery packs. You don't just have one. You gotta have at least one and another. And in that event, I normally carry one machine with 2 packs and another one with 2 packs, just in case. One fails me, I drop it, or knock on la puerta. Yeah, so you gotta just. I always pack two, man. Pack two machines.
Right. Yeah, because what if you're at a convention and you forget? Oh, well, there's supplies there, but
Yeah.
what if
No,
you forget? Like
bro, there's no way you could forget a machine going to a convention.
no, not the machine, the
The
batteries.
battery.
Because sometimes I forget batteries when I'm bringing my
Nah,
camera shoot, bro.
The
But
battery is it goes. It's like a big old block. There's no way I could leave that bad boy behind. That thing is. Once I'm done, I clean the machine. It goes right there next to the other battery.
in a box.
In a box. Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm just wondering because nowadays with the new age tattooers, everything is the rotary machines, and when you go into a shop, it doesn't even sound like a tattoo shop anymore.
It's very quiet now, and I mean, it's always good to hear that buzz. You know what I'm saying? Especially going to the conventions, and you feel that you're at a convention once you start hearing those machines buzzing.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people that just stay using the coils.
Yeah.
What are some of the pros you use the rotary for?
I use it for everything. I use
But what are the main reasons why you like to use a rotary over a coil?
I, my finger doesn't go numb. Back in the days when I was using the coil machine, I would have severe numbness here on my thumb. And now with the pen, man, I could sit there 8, 10 hours tattooing without an issue, bro, at all. And you don't have that vibration in your hands.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've never held a machine, but I mean, I guess I can.
Yeah, you're sitting there for long periods, and my sessions are normally pretty long periods of time. I don't think I could sit there 8 hours with a coil. I'll be complaining. I'll be like, yeah, 4 hours, I'm done.
For real, it's like that. They're heavy.
They're heavier than the pens. That's absolutely. I mean, I stopped using coils back in 2000. I want to say 2016, 17.
8 years.
Más o menos, creo. Si no estoy equivocado, I could be wrong. Excuse me if I am. But yeah. The first pen that I ended up getting was an FK machine. So
What's the most memorable tattoo you've ever done, and the story behind it? Something that means the most to you.
the most meaningful tattoo that I have done on somebody. There was a gentleman by the name of Joker that this gentleman came into my studio asking to get Joker tattooed over his eyebrow. I said, all right, this gentleman's got some tattoos on him. He looks like he could take some pain, and I decided to go ahead and do it. He then proceeded to wanting to get his eyes blacked out, and I told him no. And he got made fun of because he got it done at a different shop, bullied, all kinds of stuff. Said that he wanted to kill himself, and he reached out to me, and I was able to fix what was damaged from his face. He took the initiative and the commitment to transform himself. And for me, I feel like that tattoo itself, not only did it change his life, but it also impacted mine. And the fact that I was able to say that I tattooed the Miami Joker.
So he's from here?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, because I had seen on social media he, I guess, was trying to sue GTA 6. What was that all about?
I don't know. You would have to talk to him about that.
Oh, yeah, because I had seen it, and then like I had seen it got posted on World Star.
Yeah, yeah.
So what did you get any hate? Did you get bashed for it? What was the repercussions of that
When I first,
specific
yeah,
tattoo?
when I first tattooed him, there was a lot of people that said a lot of negative stuff towards him and towards myself as an artist, saying that it's something that I shouldn't have done. But at the end of the day, I feel like helping somebody that's about to hurt themselves because they're not happy or content with some tattoo work that a shop messed him up on, and I'm able to fix that.
What exactly did you fix?
Pretty much the entire face, man. They left him looking not how he wanted to look.
So you did end up doing the rest of the eyes.
I did the rest of the face, the eyes, and pretty much we took it to another level, man. He got all around his jawline tattooed, his forehead. Kid's solid as hell, man. He's very solid.
Gonna have to hit him up for me.
No, absolutely, man. Shout out to the Joker gang. But yeah, he's definitely one of the most solid as a dude, man. He definitely didn't have any, like, an ouch, nothing. Like, he was, let me know when you're done. And he sat through it, man. And it impacted me a lot, dude, because I didn't ever expect to take drawing comic books as a kid to now actually drawing an actual comic book person's face. You know what I'm saying? So it was a dope experience.
Yeah, because I remember seeing that all over social media.
Yeah. Make sure you go cop that GTA 6 and run that Joker gang character.
Is that actually him? It's not actually him, is it? You don't know?
It sure as hell looks like him. It sure as hell. Hey, GTA, we gotta talk.
What about the worst tattoo experience you've ever had?
The worst tattoo experience that I ever had. I've had quite a few, man.
What's the nail in the coffin worst tattoo experience?
She might see this, so I don't know if I want to say who. Well, all right. I'll tell you one that it's not the one that I know. All right, so let's see. The worst one would be at a convention. I had a convention experience that was probably the worst. I had worked on this young lady, and we had a really good conversation. She got a little heart locket in water, floating with a little sailboat with an anchor coming down. It took me a good 4 hours to do, half a day session to work on. And she's like, "Oh, hon, give me 1 second. I'll be right back." Dude, this lady never came back, fam.
To pay?
Bro, and it was like my first or second show that I ever did, and they pulled that card on me, bro. I felt, I felt like shit.
Robbed.
Robbed.
Well, yeah, I mean, you were robbed.
And it was like a grown lady. It wasn't like some little chamaquita, like some random little, 22-year-old. This was a grown woman, like in her 40s.
Right.
50s.
Yo, that's crazy. So she just like...
She's like, "I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the ATM." I'm like, okay.
Never came back?
Never came back, fam. So that I would say that was probably one of my worst tattoo experiences, bro.
What about clients that can't sit and like they just moan and complain and, "Oh, it hurts"? What do you do? How do you handle those type of clients?
When I know I'm getting myself into a big piece, I always tell them, there is alternatives to avoid pain. If you wish to purchase numbing gel, you could go on your own behalf and purchase it and bring it, and we'll put it on. But as far as like them being, it hurts too much, I try to, do what I need to finish as much as I need to get done. And if it's, something where it's just line work and we could color it another time, I'll tell them, "Look, if you're not feeling good right now, we could probably do a secondary session where we could color it in,
That's crazy. Yeah, because
I try not to make them feel bad, bro. Like I said, I don't want to give them a bad experience. My face is very clean, so I try to keep it that
the
way.
credibility is everything.
Yeah, yeah.
What about anesthesia tattoos? How do you feel about the anesthesia tattooing? That's
The one that people are getting knocked out.
yeah.
Hey, come holler at me, one of y'all. I want to do that. Hey, what?
They pay. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either. One of y'all call me, at Tattoo Bam Bam.
So you support it?
If they're coming correct with everything, from the front and the back, no Diddy.
So like you're saying you would get one done?
I would do it. Would I do a tattoo
So
under
no,
anesthesia?
yeah. Would you get a tattoo under anesthesia?
Oh, would I get
yeah,
it?
Yeah. Well, is that what you're saying?
Oh no, I thought you was asking me how do I feel about a person that's getting.
Yeah, because it's big right now on social media. So
Yeah.
you don't really.
I would tattoo somebody under anesthesia like that.
Oh, for real? I mean, it costs a
If
lot.
if it's me and like 6 other raw ass tattooers, absolutely, let's do it.
Yeah. Don't you think it has a negative effect on the body? Because someone did just die.
Well, that person when he didn't go under the tattoo machine yet. He died because he took the anesthesia and he had a bad effect on it. He
On
didn't.
his heart, right?
Yeah, he didn't. He was nobody. Nobody even started working on him.
That's crazy.
That's the part that they left out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just see it nowadays
No,
because I'm on social media.
I looked into it, and the artists that were involved in that whole procedure, they said their condolences, and but they didn't start the tattoo. They just his body didn't take it. Now
That's
in
crazy.
the event that a person that happens to a person under the actual process, it's going to be unfortunate, but there is a disclaimer on that. You gotta understand that these are things that could happen.
Right.
Just
No, that makes sense.
just like smoking a cigarette, you have a chance that this might happen. So if you sign that,
What's the craziest request you've gotten from a client?
the craziest request that I got from a client would be that guy Joker.
That's it?
Yeah.
Just that one?
Absolutely, man. Joker's request, and that it's not every day that somebody just tells you, "Hey, look, I want to look like the '52 Joker. I want to look like my face is just being pushed back and ripped apart." That's some commitment. That was definitely one of the most. Anytime somebody asks me, "Hey, what's the craziest tattoo you've ever done?" It's definitely that one. Number one. You want to see it? It's hard to explain.
What about celebrities since you're famous? How many celebrities have you tattooed, or what's it like tattooing a celebrity?
I've tattooed a few football players.
From the Jaguars?
I know from the Patriots.
Oh, for real? Tom
Yeah.
Brady?
No, no, no. Not Brady. I tattooed a few people. I try to network with a lot of people here in Miami. On Star Island too. Noah Diddy.
Mar-a-Lago?
Yeah, and Coral Gables. This area here is really nice, man. It's a good area.
So how long did you say you were in Miami for?
I moved to Florida in 1999 from New York.
Oh, so you
Still
just
in-
stayed here your whole life.
Pretty much, yeah.
You ever feel like you're going to move anywhere, or do you like it here?
I would love to, but I'm here. Wherever my kids are, I'm gonna be here, bro.
What do you like about Miami?
There's a lot of things I like about Miami, man. The people, the culture. There's a lot of different countries here. So compared to other areas in Florida, Miami has that Latin culture that where I belong.
Yeah.
So as far as the tattoo community out here, it could be better. I think a lot of people here in Miami need to unite more, collab more, and stop being in competition with each other. We're at the end of the day, we're here for the same thing, to support our families, contribute to our community, but not to step on each other's toes, man.
Right.
And unfortunately, that's something that we see here a lot in Miami. So it's been hard for me to put myself into a place where that is happening, where there's people bad mouthing other shops, other artists, other people, people badmouth me all the time. They say that my work is fixed, it's photoshopped, and it's like, all right. And it's unfortunate, bro. Like it could get better.
Right. Who are some of the artists you want to collab with?
Ooh, I would love to tattoo with Tattoo Theory, man. Tattoo Theory.
I think I've heard of them.
Tattoo Theory is a badass, man. I would love to sit down. When I first started tattooing, he was one of the biggest artists that I really sat down. I would go almost every other day to his shop, and I lived in Broward. It's
Right.
like a 20, 25-minute drive just to see him go at it in tattooing, and having the opportunity to actually tattoo with him would be cool.
Right. No, that's cool. Where's he located?
He's here in Miami as well.
Oh, he's here in
Yeah,
Miami.
yeah,
How do you separate the tattoo industry and like exposure because you have a lot of followers? How do you separate that from your family and your kids?
I don't separate it honestly. I try to keep my kids involved in it. You know what I'm saying? Like if I have one day where I can sit down with them and teach them a little bit about the what it is to be an artist and how to be a businessman, or when you grow up, these are the things. My kids are always very vigilant every time I'm tattooing and doing things. So
No, that's cool. Yeah, because I mean, sometimes there's dangers in every industry. So I just wanted to know because I don't have kids or anything like that. So, but with social media, it's crazy, bro.
yeah.
Because you don't know who follows you.
Yeah, I've had some incidents where people would sit and just I don't know, they comment weird stuff with kid photos. So I just try to keep them here and there. Like I'll post them once in a while. So they like seeing the family too.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to see what else does he do besides art. How is he involved in his kid's life? So. I keep them on my Instagram, but I would never let them have an Instagram until they're like 21.
Yeah, that's crazy. How do you handle cover-ups?
Cover-ups?
Like, do you do them?
Yeah, absolutely. I do cover-ups. I study them, man. My main thing is looking at where the cover-up is, what part of the body it's on, the composition of the actual tattoo. So I study them by taking a picture and then kind of getting a couple of references of what they want and see how I could tie that into their tattoo.
What about what's the most difficult cover-up you've had to do?
Oh man, if I feel like it's too difficult, bro, I'll tell them to do like some Oriental stuff, man. I've done some really jacked up pieces, like names and stuff like that, and I'll do some Oriental koi fishes and stuff like that. It works great.
What about any of your pieces? Have you ever seen any of your pieces get covered up?
Yes,
How does that
doesn't
translate?
bother me.
Doesn't bother you?
I got what I wanted, that experience, that person. If they decided, hey, look, it didn't work out for me, if it's, let's say, a name or something like that, I don't feel bad. Go ahead.
Crazy. Yeah, I mean, I guess a name would be more.
Yeah, no, but like an actual piece of mine. No. I had a guy get a hand tattoo that I did on him, laser removed, but he did it because he actually started working for law enforcement, and they told him he couldn't have anything here down. Like he could be tattooed from here up, but he couldn't have nothing on his hands. And it was a badass piece. It was like bones coming out, and you could see the muscle tissues and stuff like that.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah,
The skin
yeah.
rips and stuff.
Yeah, so he had that laser removed. I was like, dude, what? But he told me what it was for, and I was like, oh,
No.
it's all good.
Why do you think people get tattoos? Like, what's the psychology behind that, do you think? Or what do you think the psychology behind getting tattoos is?
So for some people, it could be for closure, man. You know, I get my tattoos at points in my life where I feel like, hey, let's say I'm in a certain city, I want to get something that represents an experience that I had. Same thing with other people, if somebody had a child, I want to get my kids' footprints, or, something that represents something significant for their lives.
Do you think all tattoos need to have a meaning, or do you think it's just cool to just get them?
They don't all have to have a meaning, man. I mean, the tattoos that I have on myself all have a meaning. For certain people, they just come up to a convention and they see something in an anime style. Oh, I like that anime piece. Let's do it. Come on.
No, I feel that. Yeah, because any tattoo that I've gotten is just more so I pick it off the wall and then I just get it tattooed. Nothing.
You?
Yeah.
Let me see what you got.
Bro, I'm wearing pants. I was supposed to wear shorts, but like, my legs are all.
So these are all picked off the wall?
Yeah. Yeah, Flash, because it's traditional. I'm more of a traditional guy. One day, if I have space, I'll have you tattoo me.
Absolutely.
Because your
Let's
work
do
is
it.
sick, bro.
Thank you.
I'm going to roll these down real quick. We mentioned earlier about the more traditional, I guess, the older generation tattoo artists, how they like to gatekeep.
Mhm.
Do you think gatekeeping is essential, or do you think it should be told?
People are always going to gatekeep certain things, man, in life. I know as far as the knowledge that I have, I would share it with people that I see value the time, the craft. I know I've taught certain people that I felt like I shouldn't have, that I should have gate kept all my knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Because what their actions afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I feel like, man, knowledge is everything, and if you have the opportunity to show how you do certain things, man, go for it. Teach the people that need to learn. If you want to gatekeep, hey, fuck it.
Yeah, because I advocate for gatekeeping. Well, in the camera world, anyway.
You what?
I advocate for gatekeeping, like I support it.
You support gatekeeping?
Yeah, in the camera world. Because people gatekept me when I was trying to learn,
Yeah.
and I see why.
I get
So, yeah. Teach their own, right?
you. Yeah.
But since I don't know anything about the tattoo industry, that's why I was just wondering.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I've never had anybody gatekeep anything for me, dude. Like, I've been very, like, I don't know, the vibe, the energy. We just sit down and kick it, like, I haven't had anybody do that to me.
Right. No, I feel that. It's common from older generations, I
Yeah.
feel. Because when I posted this clip of this dude who's been tattooing for 30 years, a lot of people are like commenting gatekeeping. Like, I get it, but I don't know. People just need to chill. People go crazy on the internet.
Yeah.
What's the biggest sacrifice you've made?
The biggest sacrifice I've made in tattooing. Letting go of my shop, bro. I felt like that was a big sacrifice for me. It was either my kids or my shop. I sacrificed 10 years that I really put into building what I had to make sure that I still have my kids done. And I feel like having my kids in my life means a lot more than anything in this world. So, with everything, tattooing, there's always sacrifices. Sacrificing whether or not you're going to do good at a tattoo convention, or if you're going to make your what you invested back. So, sacrifices, bro.
Yeah, you gotta make them.
Absolutely.
You gotta make them. What's one thing you wish you learned that nobody taught you?
How to run a business, bro. How to everything. That's something that I had to learn on my own. There's a lot of things before you open up a shop that you don't know until you stumble upon them. There's a lot of loopholes between the health department, certain documents that they require for you to have a shop. There's a lot of things that you slowly start like, oh damn, I didn't know about that.
Right.
You know.
So what are your plans for the next, I guess, 5 years? Are you trying to stay in your own studio, or would you ever open up your own shop?
No, I'm definitely shooting to get my studio, the Prodigy 2.0, back up.
Oh, you already had your own shop? Oh, so that shop was your own, the
Yeah.
Prodigy.
Yeah.
And then now your studio is called the Prodigy. It's just you out of your house?
The studio.
Oh, it's just, okay. Dang, that's crazy. No, that's cool though. So, how long do you think you'll get the Prodigy 2.0 out?
I'm shooting for the end of the year, brother.
Big shop or what?
Something nice, bro. I think something where I could bring what I originally had visioned back into what I worked hard for, you know?
Right. When you're looking for artists, how are you gonna hire them? What are you gonna look for when hiring them?
That's the hard thing, bro. Hiring when I had my first shop was probably one of the hardest things because there's a lot of people out here, like I said, that are here to step on people's toes and shit. And I've had people steal from me, you know, after I've given you the opportunity to get your tattoo license. You know, I had a gentleman coming from a different country and he wanted a tattoo with me and learn. He's like, listen, you know, I like your style. It's like along the same style as mine. And I helped him get his license and all that. He did incredible tattoos. And I want to say within 3 months of him tattooing there, one day I was like, hey, look, I got this gentleman that wants to get this full arm tattoo. And I quoted him a price. He agreed to the price. He left a deposit. And when I come into the shop, he goes, hey, look, I told him that I'm only going to charge him this much. Why would you charge less than what we already had mentioned, you know? So when I spoke to the client, he told him, hey, listen, this is how much I paid him. But the other dude was pocketing the other half.
That's
Bro,
crazy.
that was like, yeah, give me the keys, bro. Right there on the spot, I was like, give me the keys. And it's been difficult, man. You know, one thing I try to avoid, bro, is having people that do that type of stuff in my circle, bro. I can't stand a snake. And unfortunately, there's people that have good intentions and some people that are not cut out for it, bro.
Right.
You know, they don't respect that. They don't respect. You know, when I first I believe in karma, man. And when I worked in the last few shops that I used to work at, I've seen people steal, bro. I'm not here to be a tattletale, you know, oh, this and that. But it's like, why are you taking from the mouth that's feeding you?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I'm big on that. If I'm helping you get your name and your clientele up, why would you do some shit like that?
Right.
You get me? So
You can't trust nobody nowadays, bro.
it's
Especially when money's involved.
big money, bro. We're talking about 1000s. We're not talking little money here. We're talking thousands because, you know, the man was getting a sleeve done, you know, and
Yeah, because imagine if that was like, because I've had people that have shafted me for like $200, and it's like, bro, it's only $200. Why are you? Imagine it was 2,000.
it's the principle.
Yeah, it's the principle, bro.
It's the
Like,
principle, bro. And at the end of the day, it's stand on business. You have to stand on business, you know, and you can't have those type of snakes in your grass.
never. If you could go back to your younger self, what would you say? What's some advice you would give?
Invest more in your passion, man. Invest more in your family. Depending on how far back we are going, but yeah, man, just invest in yourself. That's the most important thing is invest in yourself in all aspects, in your health, um, financially, in all aspects.
And then my final question: what's the biggest mistake that you've had to learn from?
The biggest mistake I had to learn from.
The biggest reality check.
At the end of the day, business is business.
I mean, I accept that.
That's the biggest reality check I ever had. Is being told that
Business
we
is
could be
business.
friends, but at the end of the day, business is business.
Yeah, I like that. Business is business. It is what it is.
Whoever watches this, she'll know what I mean.
Oh, damn. You got anything else to say to them?
Thank you for teaching me that.
Yeah, before Jose comes over here and kicks us out. Big shouts out to Jose.
Yo, big shout out to West Miami Jewelry. If you're in Miami and you're looking to get some jewelry, you got to come check out Jose at West Miami Jewelry and get that bling bling.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come back and get a Rolex.
There you
I'm
go.
gonna have to work with him, get him on a pod too, because he has some cool stuff in there when I was filming.
He's got a lot of amazing custom pieces. Definitely want to check them out, guys, and get your orders in. West Miami Jewelry on Instagram. Make sure you guys check them out.
You have anything else to say to the people?
Hey, to all my people in Miami, we're now booking sessions for this next month. So if you guys are looking to get tattooed, hit me up. My Instagram is at @TattooBamBam. I want a big shout out to you as well, and thank you as well for having me here today.
I appreciate it, bro.
And, nothing but love from you, bro. And hopefully we could do some shows, and I could introduce you to some cool guys.
No, that would be cool. I mean, if you could get people on here too, that would be dope, because we're just navigating
Spread
our
the
way
word,
through.
man.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, is growing. Getting other people on here and giving their 2 cents is always cool.
Yeah. No, I like hearing people's stories.
Yeah.
But all right, I just want to thank y'all for tuning in, and remember to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see y'all next week on the next episode of the most versatile podcast in the world, The Bean Dip. If you have anyone you admire or aspire to be, let me know in the comments below, and we'll do our best to get them on.